Hey guys, welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. So I've been playing the game since launch. It's been just over 30 days now since the release of the game. And I wanted to essentially share a quick account overview. I've been playing every single day, so I thought, it made sense to kind of just show how far I've come thus far, show you through, the characters that I've got, and also where I'm at right now. So starting off, I'm currently sitting at Trailblaze level 59, so one away from 60 where I can get to Equilibrium level 5, which will be amazing when it comes to like relic drops and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm currently at level 59 now, keeping in mind I did spend a little bit in the game, but not necessarily for refreshes or anything like that. It was more for getting pulls, because I've got Jing 1 as well. And I was really lucky with Zilla in the beginning as well. I think I got in like 20 or 30 pools. But yeah, so in regards to the Trailblaze level, I've done a handful of refreshes using my my Stellar Jade, but not too much, to be honest. So every day, just get on, grind, get. The thing is, I wake up in the morning quite early. I get rid of the stamina that I've got built up, and then after work, when I come back, I'll sit down, and my stamina would normally sit at about 120 to 140. So then essentially I've got like 2 sessions every day where I just finish and deplete my stamina, so that I can make the most progress possible. I've got another account that's currently sitting at Trailblaze level 43 or 44, I think, but I started that account like a week or 2 after the game's release. But there is obviously quite a significant difference if you're fully free to play and not spending any Stellar Jade and instead using that to pull. But yeah, that's just it. The thing is, I enjoy the game quite a lot, so to me it made sense to use some Stellar Jade to actually get more enjoyment out of the game, to farm a little bit more for specific characters, etc. But yeah, so in regards to the maps, I've completed everything there is to do, obviously. So every zone, I've got all the chests. I've essentially got all of these warp trotters as well, and I don't think there's anything else for me to do. That's just a main a daily mission. But yeah, so just kind of on the daily missions as well, one thing you have to do every day if you want to kind of min-max as well is to obviously do your daily tasks, which is quite easy. I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos as well. It literally takes about, I'd say, like 5 to 10 minutes maybe to get through those, which is really nothing. And they'll give you a bunch of Trailblaze XP as well as some Stellar Jade as well, which I generally used just to kind of do like 1 or 2 refreshes. But yeah, so like I said, everything on the map I've done already. So no chests, no trotters. I've completed all the puzzles, especially in Jiangzhou Lofu. I think that's how you pronounce it. So all of the puzzles here. One thing that I did just want to kind of point out is that with these puzzles that you get with the Hexinus cubes, you can finish all of those, and then there's a guy that's going to speak to you where he'll give you some more puzzles to do as well. There's some achievements that you can collect from that as well. But I mean, even the challenge you have completed, there's really nothing much when we look at the overworld and things like that. Now, when it comes to the simulated universe, I've essentially done all of that as far as I can. So currently I'm on Equilibrium level 4, which means I can only do up to a specific level on each of the worlds. Currently, it's at the mid. I would say this is kind of like mid game. I would definitely not say this is end game this far. I know the level max is 80, but I mean there's still a lot to do. So if we look at the simulated universe, I've completed all of these. It literally just refreshed for me on my end, so I've already done that. But I mean, there's nothing left here really to do other than doing the farm. My ability tree is maxed out as well. There's nothing much more for me here to do until I get to that next Equilibrium level where I can then take on World 5. Or the other levels that they do offer you, level 3 here. Now that's the simulated universe. There's nothing really crazy here. I mean, obviously as a pointer you have to kind of make sure that every week you get through this. Now, one tip that I can give you is to, if you're a little bit of a lower Trailblaze level, it would make the most sense to do this towards the end of the week, a day or two before it ends. Because the thing is, it might happen that you get to the next equilibrium within the week, and that will just give you a better chance of getting better rewards when you actually complete it. So for example, if you're, let's say for example, Trailblaze level 49, and the week essentially just started, you can complete the simulated universe. You obviously get to level 50, but then if you're exchanging the what is it called? I think it's Hertz Bonds, not Hertz Bonds. It is called the Immersifiers, yeah. So if you get the Immersifiers and you obviously exchange them, it gives you some Trailblaze XP. But I mean, for example, if you're sitting at let's say for example level 31 or level 32 Trailblaze Trailblaze level, there might be a chance by the end of the week that you get to 40. So just wait and complete just before, and then you'll maybe be able to get to level 40 and get better drops then. Same goes for things like Echoes of War, you know, relics. You can farm really whenever you want to. My tip would be not to really farm them at before Trailblaze level 50, just because of the chances of getting, you know, gold relics. But yeah, so that's the simulated universe. I must be honest, I've not really paid too much attention to the Forgotten War and the Memory of Chaos. Right now my goal is basically just, I want to enjoy most, if not all, of the characters in the game. So currently what I'm doing is essentially just going through all my characters and leveling up as much of them as I can, or as many of them as I can. I'd really like to just have a huge diversity. I'm not really following meta or anything like that. I enjoy the game the way I want to play it, and with that being said, I want to get most, if not all, of my characters to a high level, get their traces up, so that I can enjoy different characters and different team builds essentially. So with the Memory of Chaos and Forgotten War, obviously I've completed the Forgotten War. It's not really too challenging, I'd say. Obviously when it gets to the point where you have to start having two teams, it does get quite a little bit difficult, because the thing is, especially when it comes to Memory of Chaos, you're gonna start needing two healers, and the game only gives you Natasha as the first healer, or your only healer. On this account specifically, as you can see, I've literally only got Natasha. I've got my March at E6, which is really nice, so I can use her as a tank slash, you know, healer, mini healer on my second team as well. But I'm not going to bank on her being both a tank and a healer. I just don't think it's going to work for the Memory of Chaos. So this also just resets with the previous run. I think I got up to like number 5 on the Memory of Chaos. So this also just refreshed for me on my end. So I'll start running through this as well. But I mean, the most important part of Memory of Chaos is obviously just knowing that you've got two teams that you're able to run. So two fully nicely developed teams. So for example, for this first floor, we can see the main weaknesses here. I'll probably use there's some fire as well. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what we use there. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, your main objective is to get two main teams going. And once that's done, you can obviously try clearing these as well. Now, I'm not sure how far I actually am into my pity for the free 5-star for the standard banner. Let's just check. 164. So as you can see, it's been just about a bit more than a month, and I've only got to 164 pools on this. So it's gonna take another month or two, probably even more, 3 to 4 months, I'd say, depending on the events that are gonna happen. But I mean, as you know, with the release of the game, we did get quite a few free pools, the silver tickets, and with, you know, the content not being there anymore, it might be really difficult getting these Star Rail passes coming. But I think my plan would be just to pull either Bailu on this banner for my free reward, or depending on, because we all know that version 1.1 is releasing soon, we're gonna have Lurcher think that's how you pronounce it, coming out. And I might just pull for Lurcher, I'm not too sure. I'm still kind of contemplating what's more important. I'm really thinking, my train of thought is just that I'm going to get a Bailu for sure, whenever I get to the point where I can actually receive her, yeah. But there is obviously also a chance of getting Bailu when you're just doing normal pulls as well. But in regards to the version 1.1 coming up soon, Silver Wolf obviously is someone that I'm really looking forward to. So I'm going to trial it out. I know I know Miyoyo doesn't really give us, or Hoyoverse doesn't really give us good builds on the trial characters they provide. But that will still be a decent way of checking if they're really good. I mean, just the fact that she can, you know, turn or give the enemies a weakness that one of your random allies have. Could be quite good, but I feel like there's also a lot of RNG with Silver Wolf as well. But yeah, like I said, it's something I'll still decide on. I'm not like fixed on someone specific. Right now, I mean, I just recently pulled Jing1. So my main focus is just getting Jing1 built. I mean, he's already at level 70. And I chose to use the Birth of the Self because I pulled it while I was pulling Jing1. Coincidentally, so this is the light pin that I decided to go with, which is quite nice for him. I mean, I don't have, or I'm not willing to spend enough money to pull for his light pin specifically. I mean, but yes, so like I said, at the end of the day, I want to get to a point where I get all my characters up to a really high level because I want that diversity. But one thing I can recommend, so like in the beginning when you're just starting the game out, it will be very, very, very enticing to just kind of level up every single character that you've got because they look cool and you might want to see what they do. But one thing that I can definitely recommend you is to essentially focus in the beginning on 4 characters, so just one main team, and then after that, once they're maxed out, start building a second team. And like I said, I really enjoy playing the game. I don't really like following meta. So I choose to level heroes and light cones according to what I think looks fun and what I think looks good. So I understand that there's a lot of guys out there, content creators, that kind of push towards a specific meta. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that the game is really young. You're not racing against anyone. I get it that content creators have to put out content, so they kind of don't really have too much of a choice when it comes to like character builds and stuff like that, because they need to showcase something for the game to get some content out there. But I mean, my main tip would just be to take the game at your own pace, enjoy the game. The story is really, really amazing thus far. We've just ended at Jingzhou Lofu, and I'm really, really excited to see what's coming up next in regards to the main story missions that's going to be happening. But I mean, yes, so that's essentially my account. I mean, in regards to relics, she or Sealer is probably the one I farmed the most on, if not the only one. The rest of my characters basically just have handed off pieces. I did farm a little bit for hook. Pieces aren't amazing. My main focus is to, if I can, get the set bonus, but most of the time I'll just focus on getting the right main stat for the relic pieces and just disregard the 2-piece and 4-piece bonuses, because I mean it does give you a slight advantage in some cases, but most of the time just getting the right stats and substats will be much more valuable than worrying about, you know, getting an extra 12% attack. But yeah, so that really is the majority of my account. There's nothing really more that I can say about it. I mean, like I said, the story thus far has been really amazing, which is one of the reasons why I just couldn't stop playing the game in the beginning. Obviously, you know, with the Kokolia boss fight being the pinnacle of the story, absolutely loved that, and I won't even talk about the OST during that fight. That was just really, really amazing. But yeah, so my plans going forward with the release of 1.1 soon, will just be to, you know, obviously continue maxing out my characters. I will potentially look at getting Lurcher because he's a healer, and because we've got Yukong on that banner as well. Although they did mention that we will get a free copy of Yukong in version 1.2, which is quite a bit odd. I can already see, you know, a lot of content creators just kind of pulling on the banners to you know, give you guys a good overview of what Yukong can actually do. I'm 100%. I can't really say if I'm going to be pulling or not for Lurcher. I think Silver Wolf, even though the 4 stars on a banner are not particularly interesting to me, I think she might be the one that I go for. I was really kind of thinking of a quantum-based team with like Sealer, Silver Wolf, and QQ or Chingcha. I don't know how you pronounce the name, but yeah, that sounds like something fun that I can do. But yeah, that really is my account so far. There's nothing really much more that I can say. I mean, at the end of the day, every day is just a daily grind to you know, set up your characters to get to a high level, get their traces maxed out, get their light cones as well. I'm really looking forward to 1.2 purely because of the fact that there will be quite a few events coming out as well, with the museum coming out, you know, with the double drops and the calyxes, and also just the fact that we'll have some more content that we can play through as well. Because right now it's almost like you're stuck in a loop where you deplete your stamina once, maybe twice a day, depending on when exactly you play. And then if you haven't, you do some simulated universe runs, which I personally don't really see a need for anymore for my account. I've got a lot of the drops that gets used for leveling up as well. So I'm essentially, luckily for me, I mean, I'm almost at like I said, Trailblaze level 60, where I'll focus a lot more on relic farming. So between 50 to 60, my main focus was, number one, you know, getting the characters levels up, but then also just to kind of get the traces up for most of them as well. Ascending my characters as well, and then from level 60 onwards there's a guaranteed chance for double drop on the relics, which is when I'll spend when I'll spend most of my time on specifically. So like I mentioned earlier, I mean, most of my guys are running on pretty shitty pieces, to be honest. So that will be my main focus going forward, and then after I've got some decent relic sets, I can obviously look at the Memory of Chaos and then try and push through there as well. But I mean, yeah, that's my account thus far. Really appreciate you guys tuning into the video. I will be making some guides on specific characters as well. By the way, I think March 7th is an amazing hero, amazing character. Specifically, her story, not only a story really interesting, but also just the fact that once you get to E6 on March 7th, she does become quite good to use in your second team as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it from my side. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope you guys have a good one. Cheers.